Welcome back to Mile High Hoops. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. I sure did. I had about 7 or 8 glasses of wine and had a pretty great time with some friends. But today's video is going to be on the Golden State Warriors and kind of their struggles, salary problems, and what they can do to maybe mitigate some of these issues. I think a lot of their problems stem mostly from Draymond Green, which we'll get into pretty in depth. But if you like my videos and want to see more of them, please hit the like and subscribe button. Takes just a few seconds out of your day and would make a world of difference for me. But I think let's start with the salary cap problems that the Warriors are facing, and that is mostly centered around their superstars. So I've already clicked on a bunch of these. So Steph Curry is on this huge deal, which, I mean, it's Steph Curry. He deserves it. He's been playing out of his mind. Probably the best season he's ever had this year. Klay is looking rough, but having a bit of a bounce-back season. Wiggins is getting paid a lot, but he is worth it at this point from what he's shown. And then Draymond, this is where the issue really unfolds for me. He's making $25.8 million this season, and he has a player option next season of $27.5. And so I think a lot of the conversation to start the year was, is this opt-out contract Draymond season, or is this going to be like a year that he is trying to pop off so that he can get some big bag after opting out? But I think it's quite the opposite now. I think now it's opt-in Draymond. He's got not really a lot going for him this season. His defense has been abysmal. I think the biggest weak point to his defense so far has been his closeouts. He has been closing out to guys just standing straight up with his hands out in front of him, and it's leading to a lot of blow-bys where the guy's going straight line drive past him and he's getting handsy with them and getting fouls, or it's leading to guys behind him picking up fouls, or guys having to go in too far of rotations to cover for Draymond, leading to an open three. Even underneath the rim on some bigger centers where he used to thrive, he's been getting kind of bullied under the basket. Even some guards are doing that now too, and he's just not able to get up as fast. I think the reason why this conversation exists right now is because I think the Warriors need to trade him before the rest of the league catches on to Draymond looking old and not being as good. And then as far as the rest of these guys, I mean, they've got them locked in for 2 or more years, pretty much everybody. Wiseman's going to need a new contract that same year that the player option that Draymond has would expire, and so would DiVincenzo. Rest of these guys would be locked in for a little bit. Poole's big contract starts next season, so that's going to be an added difficulty there. And then if we're looking at the team stats as well, turnovers, I've got this highlighted first for some reason, but the Warriors are top 3 in turnovers, which is not good. They are also number 1 in personal fouls, which I think a lot of that is stemming from this lazy defense the Warriors have been playing. Especially, it's not just Draymond and closeouts, but he is the biggest contributor to that negative there. And then, I mean, their offense hasn't been entirely insane. It's been actually pretty good at 6th. If we go to advanced as well, we could see that their defensive rating has been pretty garbage as well at 24th, and their offensive rating, the other one wasn't offensive rating, that was points per game. Their offensive rating is down at 12th. I think that is taking into account turnovers as well. And, the thing that's tough also about the foul issues is that the Warriors are second in the league in pace. And when you're fouling a whole lot, you're not keeping the pace up because you're putting guys on the free throw line, you're stopping the clock, and the Warriors won't be able to play the basketball that they want to play at that point. And so I think a lot of that is stemming around Draymond. And it's kind of like a systemic thing at this point where the young guys are seeing Draymond not work this hard, and I think whether or not they're consciously making an effort to do the same exact things that Draymond is doing wrong, it just doesn't look bad or it doesn't look good. And this kind of stems back to the whole Kobe mentality of you got to lead by example. And Draymond's not really doing that right now. Steph is pretty much the only one. Steph and Kevon Looney are the only real ones that are putting it all out there every single night. And it's just becoming very apparent that Draymond isn't the guy that he used to be, and it's just causing a lot of systemic problems down the roster. And so I came up with a few trades here to maybe mitigate some of the issues that the Warriors are having and ways to fix that. And so if we were to take a look at those, I'll put them up on screen for everyone here. But the first one I have with the Atlanta Hawks, the Warriors are getting John Collins and Onyeka Okongwu. And the Warriors are sending out Draymond, James Wiseman, a second-round pick from 2025 from the Charlotte Hornets, 2026 second round from Memphis, and then I've got the wrong pick in here. This is the 2023 first, which is a stipend rule issue, so they'd have to send out the 2025. And so I think that a trade like this would help the Warriors because John Collins would add some athleticism, some more scoring, much needed on this team. And Onyeka is just a very solid rim protector, defender. Even though he's only 6'8", he gets up and blocks shots. The thing that's kind of questionable here is that I know the Hawks want to trade John Collins specifically to open up space for Onyeka to get more minutes, and they really like him, so I don't really see why they would want to get rid of him, but maybe tossing in James Wiseman as well as some of these other picks would really sweeten the deal. And I know the Hawks would love to have Draymond. I think it's their GM was an ex-Warriors guy, and so having Draymond in there with Trae Young and some of these other shooters would probably be pretty good for them. He could probably fit in almost as well as he does with the Warriors. This next trade is not super exciting either, but it's Miles Turner for Draymond and James Wiseman. Miles is on his last year of his deal, so he'd have to be re-signed after this season. But a lot of the same things. The Pacers want young players. James Wiseman, boom, there you go. Miles Turner would fit in with the Warriors as the spacing big that is blocking a whole lot of shots, and he would be cleaning up the defensive issues a lot better than Draymond can at this point. Pretty simple swap there. And then this is the big one that was on the thumbnail. So the Nets haven't looked good. They've got all these issues surrounding Kyrie and his off-the-court stuff that whether or not you think it's an issue or not, it is definitely causing turmoil within their roster and their organization. And so Kevin Durant might ask out again, and if he does, then I think the Warriors have one of the best packages to offer the Nets because I have here Draymond, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and you could definitely throw in a bunch of picks here as well if you were the Warriors. I just didn't put any in here because it's going to be so abstract as far as a fake trade on this one. But we all know who Kevin Durant is and how he fits with the Warriors. He's underrated on defense. He can get a bucket wherever he wants. And a tandem of him and Steph Curry is insane. Anyways, the next one, this one's not super exciting either, but it's Draymond, Moses Moody for Doug McDermott and Josh Richardson. Doug is a good spacing guy. He's going to be moving off the ball, catching and shooting threes, which is good. His defense is meh. He can handle the ball a tiny bit. And then Jay Rich, I remember, I think it was in some other guy's videos, I mentioned that Josh Richardson was a bad shooter. Someone had said that he was a really good one. And I don't know what it was. I had some negative bias against Josh Richardson's shooting, but he's actually a very solid shooter. So I think he could fit in with the Warriors as well. And even they could run a Jordan Poole, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Richardson, front or back court off the bench, and I think that would look pretty good. And then again, the Spurs are just getting Moses Moody and Draymond. They could probably just move Draymond again after this trade in the offseason, after he accepts his player option or whatnot. And I think Moody would be a guy that Pop could really turn into a great player. And then the next one here, Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes for Draymond and Moody. Harrison Barnes, 1-year deal again. He fits. He just shoots the ball well, plays okay defense, bigger body. And then Rashawn Holmes. I think Rashawn Holmes is kind of the defensive version of Montrezl Harrell, even though he might not have the best numbers defensively. I mean, he's just such an animal as far as going to go get rebounds, jumping up to block shots, setting big screens and rolling to the rim. I think he would fit in with the Warriors pretty well, and especially as a backup center behind Looney. I think he would be a great addition as well. And again, the Kings just getting more defense with Draymond, and since their offense has already been really good, he could just help them on the defensive side. And then Moody's just another young player for them to add to which I think would be good for them as well. Again, picks, throw them in if you want. Again, this does sound a little contradicting, saying that the Kings are getting more defense with Draymond Green, but maybe on a new team he would revitalize a little bit and play a little bit better. He still has a better defensive ceiling than a lot of players, but Warriors situation calls for him to be moved, I think. Next one, I like this one quite a bit, actually. A lot of the ones I've liked lately in these trade videos have been around Bojan Bogdanovic. And that's Bojan and Nerlens Noel for Draymond Moody in a second round. Again, I don't even know why I threw this pick in here. Throw him in as you like. But Bojan, he's a vastly better version of Doug McDermott. He can create a lot more than Doug McDermott, but he just moves off the ball and catches and shoots crazy well. His defense isn't wonderful, but when he's giving you 20 as far as three-pointers, you take that. And then Nerlens, just another big body that sets good screens, rolls to the rim, grabs your rebounds, kind of protects the rim a little bit. Another good guy to help Looney out quite a bit. And then again, Pistons, they're just trying to get things. And so Moses Moody's be a good wing next to Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. Yep, that's right. And then again, picks, throw them in however you'd like. I don't know why that one's there. But that's pretty much all my trades here. I think that any of these moves would be a good deal for the Warriors. Whether they want to get off money and get some more role players, or if they want to go all in and get a bigger star, I think either option is good. It's just the Warriors need to make this decision that the timeline is Steph Curry. I mean, I've been hearing this get thrown around a lot of different YouTube channels, and I mean, it's very true. It's just that, the timeline is Steph and Curry because they can't do this two-timeline thing anymore. They made it work last season when they had better role players in Gary Payton II and Otto Porter Jr., but at this point, the second unit has been so extremely terrible with these young guys that the Warriors need to either trade in Draymond to get a couple extra guys that are better rotation pieces, or they need to push in a lot more chips and get a bigger named guy. So then their starting five can be even better. It's a tough decision to make, especially breaking up the big three that they've had for so long. And also, I mean, you got to take into account how Steph feels about it. But I think at this point, after the Jordan Poole incident and how bad they've been playing, I don't think Steph Curry would be super opposed to getting better as a team. Again, we can't think of what's going on in his head, but we can only assume. So, again, thanks again for sticking around this long. You're the best if you made it this far. If you could, again, subscribe, stay up to date with the rest of my videos, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.